The fake news. Fake news. Fake news. This is fake news. A little bit of fake news. Fake news. You are fake news.
Fake news. Everyone's using the term these days. And with good reason. While President Trump may have helped put the term in the dictionary, the rest of the world has been struggling to separate fact from fiction. That was fake.
The headline was, "This is how Islamic society look like, and we are heading to this."
That was fake.
The most grotesque, stomach-churning videos.
That's fake too. Problem is, it now seems to mean everything from actual lies to just something you don't agree with. So just how do we sort fact from fiction, opinion from satire, and from highly skewed and misleading headlines? Tech giants like Facebook, Twitter, and Google have spent a year wrestling with the problem. But in a world driven by likes, clicks, and attention, do they have what it takes to fight the fakes? It could be that one reason it's so hard to stop this stuff is that there's big money to be made in creating it.
This was for a couple of years that I did it. I was so much younger. A lot of fake news that's being written is just by regular people that are sitting down on their computers that have learned this formula: scandalous title plus false information equals profit. Once upon a time, even a 13-year-old could do this.
One thing is certain: fake news is a lot easier to make and share than it is to find and debunk.
And recognizing fake news could be about to get even harder. New technology could soon make us question not just what we read, but everything we see and hear.
And you can't get charged more just for being a woman.
From stealing our faces to mimicking our voices.
I am not a robot. My intonation is always different.
What's real has never been so unclear. Fact-checking organizations and technologists are working to identify and flag fake news. Researchers and politicians are starting to investigate its impact, and we're all starting to become more aware of the power it can have.
Russia is seeking to weaponize information, deploying its state-run media organizations to plant fake stories and photoshopped images in an attempt to sow discord in the West and undermine our institutions.
Is it too little, too late? Or is this just the start of a high-tech fake news arms race?
The United States is racist.
The president quoted here, "Why are we having all these people from shithole countries?"
Quote, bleep hole countries.
Blank countries.
Using an expletive, S-hole countries.
Vulgar language.
Expletive countries.
Not racial, not racially charged, racist.
ABC News policy is not to repeat the profanity, which a chorus of Trump critics have called racist and un-American.
President Trump said something that almost every single person in America actually agrees with. An awful lot of immigrants come to this country from other places that aren't very nice.
His supporters made excuses, continue to make excuses for him.
This is who Trump is. He doesn't care. He shoots from the hip. And if he offends some people, fine.
And I can hear them now telling me, "Oh, Donald didn't mean that. Donald isn't a racist," or just people who don't know him. I think it was taken out of context. I'm not sure. How many examples do you need of this?
Is it racist?
Yeah. I mean, how can you take it any other way? And I say, when I say that, I don't say that lightly.
So let's be clear. A white honky from Norway can come here, but a black dude from Haiti can't. What does that tell you in an America that in one generation called you a nigger?
I know him well and I like him and admire him, but this is a new low. The language, the racial implications are reprehensible, and he deserves the criticism he's going to get.
One of the things that we can now factor into the balance of harm to this country that is caused by having an openly racist president. I don't say that lightly.
Let me kind of recap what happened for you, and we'll bring this stuff up on screen as I do. Last night, BuzzFeed ran a 35-page intelligence report claiming that Russia had some seriously compromising content on Donald Trump. Something to do with Russian broads and urination. It was Golden Showergate was the trend. CNN was all too happy to go along with this. They claimed intelligence gave Trump a 2-page addendum to last Friday's report. This was, by the way, this was even in question from the New York Times. So it came out from BuzzFeed. Okay? When you first heard about this, you thought, oh my gosh, this is bad for Trump, right?
Yep.
Well, I think a
At this
lot of
point,
us thought, like, come on. But I think people who aren't following the news super closely, who don't really understand fake news, meaning CNN, meaning BuzzFeed, versus real news, thought, oh, this is what's going to seal Trump's coffin. So here's the truth. The 35-page report was provided by Opposition Research to Trump rivals and Hillary Clinton supporters. And this was prepped by a retired British intelligence officer who was paid to create a report hurting Donald Trump. Here's the thing. Donald Trump has made some mistakes. We've talked about this. The media and Scott, our producer, they just keep giving him these gifts. You know, the Russia thing, they maybe were able to tie it together. They could have perhaps run with the story that Donald Trump is flagrantly disregarding the intel community. Rick Santorum made the brilliant point that he's not, that he's at war with heads of intelligence committees, not intelligence agencies themselves. And you can see that, right? The left was furious with Comey. It's not like it's exclusive to the right. Sometimes you have people who are in positions of authority and you have a problem with it. The left could have run with that and said that Donald Trump does have a problem with people in the CIA, doesn't believe the briefings. We find this irresponsible. You would have gotten more. You would have made more traction with that. But you give him the gift of something from BuzzFeed. From BuzzFeed Ben Smith about Donald Trump pissing on Russian prostitutes. And you run it out there, and there is zero substantiation to the point where Tom Brokaw, one of the most leftist reporters ever next to Dan Rather, is saying, well, this has been going on for a while. He was really saying in a professional way, I'm surprised how moronic you are. He knew that it was false. Imagine him sitting back in his reclining leather chair watching CNN, and he sees the report, the 35-page report that he knew, that he debunked behind the scenes, was unable to corroborate 3 months ago. Oh, dear God. He knows what hacks they are. We want to talk about fake news? This is fake news. CNN, they have gone so far. They have soiled themselves so many times now. It's going to make it too easy for Donald Trump. And people were worried about Donald Trump maybe stepping on the press too hard, not entirely understanding the First Amendment, kind of like Barack Obama banning Fox News. But you make it easy for the guy to shut you down at this point. It's a worthy shutdown, right? Donald Trump saying, I don't like CNN, your ratings suck, you're overrated. I would have put, okay, like, that would be bad, and I think that all the press should be allowed. But when they're saying, Mr. Trump, did you urinate on Russian servant girls? Shut up. That's not really something that's indefensible. They gave him the gift, and then Donald Trump is the gift that keeps on giving because he had a press conference today. And what's so funny is you knew he was just sort of sitting, waiting, bobbing and weaving and loading up on that right hand. And he had his press conference, the first one, I think, since he's become the president-elect. Let's see what that was like.
I think it was disgraceful that the intelligence agencies allowed any information that turned out to be so false and fake out. I think it's a disgrace. And I say that, and that's something that Nazi Germany would have done and did do. I think it's a disgrace. That information that was false and fake and never happened got released to the public. As far as BuzzFeed, which is a failing pile of garbage. Fake news, it's phony stuff. It didn't happen. And it was gotten by opponents of ours, as you know, because you reported it, and so did many of the other people. It was a
they used to be
group
called
of
reporters.
Opponents that got together, sick people, and they put that crap together.
Can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give us a
is
chance to
terrible.
ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet,
you state,
quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking a
categorically,
question.
Mr.
Don't be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us a
not gonna give you
question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
Go ahead.